Hey guys, Jorge Pelayo. Today I want to talk about Cash Flow Quadrant. This is a concept that I got from a book that I read from Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. When I was like 16 years old, my dad gives me this book and he says, son, read this and we're going to become rich and you need to tell me what this guy's talking about and how we can do it. Learn it and tell me how we can do it. And I'm like, okay, Dad, I'm responsible for this. We're going to become wealthy as a family. Let me read this book. And I'm a kid, young teenager reading this book. It transformed my mentality. It changed the way that I thought about a job. It changed the way I looked at money. There's so many great things from that book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And the concept was that he had a father that was highly educated but didn't do well financially, and that was his poor dad. And then he had a friend's father who was extremely successful, and that was his rich dad. And that through these two mentalities of a dad that loved him but didn't think like an entrepreneur, and a dad of a buddy of his that served as a mentor and a father figure in his life, he was able to figure out how to become wealthy and how wealthy people think. And that's the biggest challenge for most of us, is that we're not around people that are billionaires or millionaires or successful or are leaders for them to tell us how to think and how to process and how we should view the world. And so as I read this book, there was a real simple concept that was in it that I thought would add value to everybody. Most entrepreneurs know this, but sometimes the things that we know, we forget. And sometimes we think that everybody knows it and we're not talking about it enough. And so I highly recommend this book for everybody, but let me give you the point of this video. Cash Flow Quadrant, that there is a quadrant and there's 4 squares in this quadrant. There's a left side and the right side. The left side is employee and self-employed, and the right side is business owner and investor. And it says that if you want to be wealthy, you have to move from the left side to the right side, that you have to go from employee or self-employed to business owner or investor and investor. And so let me explain an employee. What's the challenge with an employee? Nothing wrong with it. You're taking care of your family. You're putting food on the table. You're paying your bills. Salute to you. Respect for taking care of your family. Respect for working hard. The challenge is that most employees are doing work and they're not really winning financially. They're not getting paid as much as they can. It's not their business. They're not building their dream life. They're building somebody else's dream. Somebody else is making those decisions on how much they're worth. Somebody else is making those decisions on when they can take a vacation and how much time they can spend with their family, what games they can make it to. They're not fully in control of their life. Other people are making decisions for them. So then people say, you know what? I'm tired of working at this restaurant. I'm the chef. I'm going to go open my own restaurant. Man, I'm tired of working in construction. I'm going to go be my own general contractor. Man, I'm tired of being a manager at this car wash. I'm going to go open my own car wash. And so they go become self-employed, okay? There's some other people that maybe didn't work in that profession, but they study their way into a position of being self-employed, such as maybe a lawyer, okay, or a doctor, where they work for themselves. They have their own practice. And so what's the challenge with being self-employed? Oftentimes, the person that knew how to function in that lead role doesn't know how to build a company. There's a great book for that called The E-Myth, okay? If you're an entrepreneur and you're wondering, like, what positions do I play in my business, or I'm self-employed, how do I go from self-employed to business owner? The E-Myth is a great book to help you make that transition. But what's the challenge with being self-employed? If you don't work, you don't generate income, so you still have a job. You're just now your own boss. But you still have a boss. You're still not free, right? So if I'm a lawyer and I don't go fight cases to build my company, right, then I'm not going to generate an income. Now, if I'm a business owner, the difference between a lawyer and a business owner that owns a law firm is that that law firm has other lawyers, other partners, other people in the administrative aspect, accounting, legal, tax, etc., marketing, sales, all that stuff, client services. So there's other people functioning to grow the business. It's not all on one person. Let's just say you go open a restaurant. You may be a great cook. That doesn't mean that you can host, be a server, a cook, a manager, inventory, sales, compliance, all that stuff. You maybe don't know all those things. But if you don't work, you don't get paid. You're not free. I know so many people that own a business that don't have a great life. One of my people in my life that was trying to get me into real estate. I got my real estate license and I'm working with this guy. and I asked him a question. He's a 7-figure earner, and I said, hey, why don't you travel? Like, why don't you go to Europe? Why don't you go to Italy? Why don't you go to Dubai? Why don't you go to Japan? Why don't you go to like Thailand? Why don't you go travel the world? Why don't you go to Dubai? You know, all these, why don't you go travel? Like, you're a millionaire. And he said, George, if I leave this business, I don't make any money. My deals will fall apart. You know, I won't generate income. I got too many things going on. So meaning that he built a business, but that business owned him more than he owned the business. And in that, there are certain businesses that when the leadership is not there, those people are not going to function to the same standard as if the leader was there. Typically, there needs to be a management structure. That's how it gets into what? Being a business owner. And so I chose the insurance agency. Why? For a couple reasons. I was able to build a team of other salespeople, of other brokers, and teach them how to independently run their business. So whether I was working or not, sales were happening, income was being generated, the business was growing. It wasn't only growing because of George. Everybody was growing their own business, and collectively our company grew. The difference between self-employed and business owner, real simple, and I talk about this often when I'm talking about why insurance industry, is that we were on vacation. While we were on vacation, we made $35,000. While we had our kid, we made $20,000 while we were in the hospital for those few days. I wasn't seeing a client, I wasn't working, but income was still coming in. When we were on vacation, income was still coming in. And when you look at the growth of a business owner, real business owner versus self-employed, you can't look at the growth. They're on two different spectrums. Why? This person has a team, this person's doing it all by themselves. So that transition to business owner, now you're a business owner, what starts happening? You start generating more income. That has its own challenges, by the way. You need to learn how to be a business owner, run a business. There's more challenges, there's more expectation, there's more accountability, there's more thinking, more planning, but you build a team, you build systems. And what happens when you start being profitable, then you get into the fourth phase, which is investor. You start acquiring stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Maybe you got an IRA, Roth IRA, SEP IRA, Simple IRA. Maybe you're max funding a company 401k plan if you are the owner and it's your 401k or Roth 401k. Maybe you have a defined benefit plan, right? A pension plan that you're funding. Maybe you're buying real estate. Maybe you're investing in other companies. Maybe you're buying art. Maybe you're buying collectibles. But you're acquiring assets that appreciate, okay? You're acquiring assets that grow in value. And your money now is making you more money. See, the challenge is that most people work for money. They don't know how to make money work for them. And until you have enough money where you can cover all your bills and have money left over to invest, it's really hard to make money work for you when you have no money you're investing. So we have to generate more income, then we have to manage it the right way and make sure we invest it the right way. Sometimes you may be able to do that by yourself through some mutual funds. Sometimes you're going to need some professional advice. Most people that are wealthy have a series of advisors. We've done a video before on what does your boardroom look like who's sitting on your board, who's advising, who's consulting you, who's assisting you. If you want to be wealthy, you're going to need a lot of people to assist you. CPA, investment person, banker, right? Lawyer, insurance agent. There's going to be a lot of people you need on your financial team, accountant, etc. So the whole purpose of this video is, depending on where you are, what's your next? If you're an employee, how do you move to self-employed, right? And if you can move to business owner while you're learning the self-employed part, even better, you're bypassing a step. But how do you move to self-employed? If you're self-employed and you're watching this and you're saying, man, you're right, George. If I don't work, I don't make money. If I don't grow, the company doesn't grow. It's all on me. I'm by myself. Man, I have a job, but I really want to go to being that business owner. Well, what's that transition look like? Reach out. We'd love to help. Maybe you're keeping your options open and you're saying, hey, I'm kind of open in insurance. I like that residual. I don't even know what you just said about 30 grand on a week on vacation, 20 grand while having your kid. How does that work? We could talk more about residual income as well. But either way, let's upgrade from self-employed to business owner. Let's really build a business so that we have the financial capital to invest, so that we can become free, so that you can start creating in this world, that you can start doing things that you're passionate about, so you can start creating generational wealth for your family instead of working 40, 50 years and at the end of it, you got nothing besides a little bit of money left in a 401k and you didn't achieve your goals and dreams, right? That's a lack of education. It was a lack of maybe association. It's a lack of resources. And I just want to be somebody in your corner that's helping you get to that next level if you're looking to get to that next level. Please share your comments below. Follow the channel, subscribe, share this with somebody you think would bring value to. And we look forward to seeing you along your journey from employee, self-employed to business owner, investor. Take care, guys.